I'm 28 years old, broke, and I live with my parents. So the most frustrating thing is that going through school, I did everything that I was told. Growing up, I listened to my parents. I studied specific subjects at school. I went and did sixth form, which is kind of, I don't know what it's like in America with high school, but when you're 17 and 18 years old, you do sixth form, which is like non-compulsory school, but you choose to be there so you can study subjects in further depth and then apply to university or college and study them there. The 3 years of an undergraduate course, undergraduate degree. And after those 3 years, you are basically taught to go out into the world and apply for a job and then spend the next 40, 50 years of your life working. And hopefully at some point down the line you can afford a mortgage and a house and work 5 days a week, 9 to 5, do the same thing day in, day out, every single day, pretty much until you retire. And then after you retire, you can have a little bit of fun while you have very little life left. And maybe you'll last 10 years before you kick the bucket and you can't even enjoy the money or the pension that you put aside. It's so funny how the time when we need the most money is when we have none of it. And the time that we don't need the money or time is when we're about to die, when we're old, when we're retired. And so for me, after working a number of years in healthcare, earning a pretty pathetic, measly salary for my hard work and dedication, and experiencing a lot of stress and just giving a lot of myself to the work that I do, I still have very little money to my name. I can't afford a house, I can't afford a mortgage. I could probably barely afford to live if I actually had to go out and rent in London, which is where I live. And that's one of the reasons why I'm staying with my parents. Still paying a little bit of rent, contributing to the house costs, but far less than I would be if I was actually renting. And this year has been quite an interesting one in terms of things that have been happening in my life and developing. But I've realised that for the past 27-ish years, I've been living in the matrix, in the great rat race, thinking that this was all there was for me. I didn't know there was another way. I was never taught there was another way. I was strongly discouraged to follow any other way apart from the way that I was shown, the path that is kind of preset or supposedly preset and given to us by our parents, our teachers, the schools, the institutions, because that is ultimately the role of them. The government controls the education syllabus, which is taught to us through our teachers, and what do the government and the powers that be want? Well, they want us to stay in the matrix. They want us to stay as good little monkey factory workers that don't complain about working 9 to 5s and only having the weekends off. And when we want holiday, we have to request it, ask a full-grown adult when we can take a day off, the other full-grown adult being your manager. Just peculiar to me. And I'm annoyed that it's taken me this long to figure it out. I wish I would have been awakened from it way earlier. 21 would have been nice, and I would be probably wealthy living in my own house now, because I know that I have what it takes to succeed in business. I know I have what it takes to have that entrepreneurship spirit, because I've always had it. It's always been within me, and maybe it's been within you too, but it's just been stamped out over the years. It's been strongly discouraged by the people that we live with, by the people that we're around all the time. I remember this time in school where this guy started selling sweets, chocolates, cans of Coke and crisps, and he saw them at prices that undercut the school tuck shop, and he was making a killing. He was making a lot of money. School caught onto this and they confiscated his stuff and they suspended him, punished him for thinking like a true entrepreneur. Granted, he was undercutting the school shop, but the actual idea that he had was wonderful. If he wants to make money that way and he's not selling anything illegal, I don't see what the problem is. If I was the principal of that school, I would have strongly encouraged it. I would have been, great, you're going to make a lot of money one day. Good job, kid. But the institutions hate when we do that, when we try and break free of societal norms, when we try and break through the matrix. Another example is in school when someone might be better than you at a specific subject, and it's considered cheating if you pay that person to do the test for you or do your homework for you, when they know better than you, and they will always be better than you at that subject no matter how much you study, because that's what they're passionate about, that's what they're good at. But that's considered cheating, and we're punished for that. When actually, in the real world, as an entrepreneur, if you're not good at something, you outsource, you hire someone who's better than you at that thing, whether it be coding, digital marketing, design, graphic design. And so I've got to a point in my life where I realise that if I stay here, and I stay in this comfort zone, and I work this cushy job, it's not even that cushy to be fair, but if I work this job that my parents, that society expects me to work, one, I will be stuck in the matrix for the next 40, 50 years. And two, I'll probably never be able to afford a property. I'll probably never be able to have any sort of real life, a life of freedom. And I've always been that person that keeps a tight grip of the vine that I'm swinging on until I can reach the next vine before I let go of the vine that I'm holding onto. I've always played it safe. And I think that's probably where part of the problem is. That's probably why I'm in the position I'm in. I was just compelled to, I felt like I needed to get this message out there for people who are younger than me and who might be feeling the same way after working in the working world for the last couple of years. I've had a long day at work and this is like the last thing I wanted to do. My brain isn't even functioning. It took 4 takes to actually get this set up correctly. Just because I couldn't remember, I couldn't think of what I wanted to say. Just work has been absolutely destroying my brain, my soul. The only time I come alive is when I'm at home working on my side hustles, working on my YouTube channel. And another thing that frustrates me is how people from the baby boomer generation often tell me that this is the working world. I've been working for the last 40 years, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and this is how it's always been done. And you've only been working 4 years and you're already feeling exhausted. Well, tough luck, this is the real world. I'm just like, why would I take advice from someone who's not even living the way that I want to live? Just because it's the way that you've done things does not mean it's the way that things should be done, nor does it mean that things will be done this way forever. Times are changing now. I see that now. I was reading a book. Well, I am currently reading a book called The Entrepreneur Revolution by Daniel Priestley, and it's just eye-opening. And I've been investing in myself for the past year, reading various different books and listening to various different audiobooks about business, finance, The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco, Alex Hormozy's books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, Some Days Today by Matthew Dix. So many good books that basically tell you that you don't have to accept this reality that you're living in. Like this isn't it. This can't be it. This is the most unfulfilling I've ever felt in my life. This is the most unfulfilling life. The one that I'm currently living, and maybe you feel the same. I feel so unfulfilled. When that alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning and I drag myself out of bed, I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this 9 to 5 and only living for the weekends? For the promise that in 50 years' time I might be able to retire if I live that long. Nothing's guaranteed in life. I might walk out onto the road today and get hit by a bus. So putting all your hopes and all your dreams in a future plan that might not even happen, instead of living for the moment, instead of living for today, is absolutely crazy. And I wish I realised this earlier, but I mean, it's never too late to realise something like this. I'm 28 now. and I'm going to go make something of my life. Yeah, I'm good at my job. What I do provides income, it's safe, it's secure, but it's not any kind of life. I'm never going to be able to go and see places, to explore the world. I'm going to be tethered, chained by this job. And there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. There's so many great people who work 9 to 5s, but this is a new age. The age where anyone can run a business if they have a vision, if they have perseverance. And it's not going to be easy. And I don't fear hard work. I train kickboxing competitively for the last 4 years. I mean, a while back now. I haven't done it for a little while, but the training was pretty grueling. I trained 6 days a week and I could do it. I work 10 to 12 hour days on the weekends when I'm working my side hustles, when I'm working my YouTube channel, my Substack, my online Etsy store. I do that stuff because it needs to be done, not because I feel like doing it, but it does give me purpose. And so really the message of this video is that if you've been taught to go down a specific path and do this, what people tell you, realize that when you get there, you're going to be living the same life as the people who told you what to do, and which in most cases is probably not even a life that you want to live. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot achieve. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't go after your dreams. I'm so pissed at myself that it took me such a long time to realise this, when I could have been free already if I put in the work 7 years ago. Because that's when I should have realised this. But there was no one there to teach me, and this stuff was all discouraged. If I knew what I knew now 7 years ago, things would have been very different. But it's never too late. I know what I know now. And I'm ready to escape the rat race. I'm ready to escape the matrix. And yes, I am 28, I'm broke, and I live with my parents right now, but I'll tell you what, I won't be 28 forever. I won't be broke for that much longer, and I won't be living with my parents for much longer. The life that you want, the life that I want, is right round the corner, behind a thin veil. And nothing is guaranteed in life. As I said, I could die tomorrow. But I had to ask myself, if I did die tomorrow, would I be proud of the life that I'm living now? The answer is no. And another thing I realised is that if nothing is guaranteed in life, then neither is your success if you go and try and be an entrepreneur. But the one thing that is guaranteed is that if you don't move from where you are, if you don't take that risk, if you don't take that shot, then you are definitely not going to succeed, because you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And so I hope this video has motivated you, that it's inspired you. I know that I'm not where I want to be at the moment. I'm not telling you this stuff as a guru. I don't know it all. This is just what I've experienced, and I want to share my knowledge with you. Think of me more as a guide. And if you want to follow my journey, then you can subscribe. I'd love to have you along for the ride. Comment down below what your experiences are. I'll catch you guys in the next one.